more Pokemon spawns clustered that. And they do tend to be like cluster swamp. Sorry for the delay, guys. It's been a very busy weekend, but we're finally back. Welcome back. This is Lucky Crit. My name is Stevie. We have Pokemon GO version 0.47.1 update. So this might look like a very small update on the surface and nothing to be excited about, but there's actually a lot going on behind the scenes, so let's take a look here. So the first bullet point that we have here is fixed an issue where the egg hatching cutscene animation would sometimes be briefly visible from the map view. And the second one is the typical minor text fixes. So that looks like just about nothing that we have here, but there's actually a lot more. We have a lot of reports of people talking about this. So this is from a Reddit user by the name of Vector Sky, and he said he isn't getting sightings in Arizona anymore. Now I'm not sure if that means that the chart itself is not working at all, or if the text tag at the very top of it that says sightings is now gone. And a lot of people are thinking that this is in preparation for the nationwide rollout of the new tracker, which personally I'm not too excited about. So while I'm not too thrilled about the prospect of this new tracker, and I don't really like how it works, I am happy that what they brought with it are new spawn points for local areas. So in my local area, I guess because everything was based on cell data, we didn't have that many spawn points in certain spots. Like my local park, there were only like 2 spawn points, I believe, which is really pathetic, especially for a park that's also kind of a nest at times. With this new update, because it's now putting spawn points around Pokestops, there are a lot more spawn points around, which makes it a lot more fun for me to go out and walk or bike to these locations and play. So that I appreciate. But it looks to me that this is going to be rolling out nationwide probably over Thanksgiving or maybe shortly after that. It seems like it's coming very, very soon. I do like certain aspects about it, but I don't like knowing exactly what I'm going to find and where. Like if I know that this particular Pokestop that I've been to 100 or more times has this particular Pokemon there, I already know what I'm getting as long as I can make it there within, 30 minutes or so. So that to me is just not as fun as tracking stuff down and not really knowing where it is. And also, because of this new change in the new tracking system, while sightings does remain, or used to remain in sort of the beta version in San Francisco, you only got, I think, at most 3 spots at the bottom for sightings, which is really bad. Like with the way that it is now with the new Pokestops, there's a lot of Pokemon around you that are already getting kicked out of the chart that you don't even know are there. Imagine if it was like a Dragonite in like the 10th slot or something. And the only way to know is if I guess if you get close enough and other stuff gets kicked out and it pops back in. So in this case, if there's only 3 spots at the bottom for sightings, that's pretty unfortunate, and I think it's going to be a problem personally. I've also got a note here about extra items from daily bonus Pokestops are now outlined in yellow, which is pretty cool. So you'll be able to see the extra stuff that you get when you hit that daily bonus for spinning Pokestops. When you exit out of menus, there's a new sound effect, and if you tap a Pokemon in the nearby or the sightings, it has a pop-up message. It's a simple little message. We'll look at that later. We also know now that Pokestops no longer give XP if your item bag is full. So before it would give you a little bit of experience even if your bag was full, just to, I guess, as a consolation prize. It no longer does that, so you're going to have to discard some items in order to spin the stop and get the experience as well as the items from it. Some people are also saying some weird stuff is happening, like Pokemon running away from them but also having them in their Pokemon box. So hopefully that gets sorted out. And I also see some people here on Reddit talking about Curveballs being less curvy, potentially some changes to curveball mechanics, but we've been seeing that a lot. They tend to tweak things pretty often, and I did try to catch some stuff before, and it doesn't seem like too big of a deal. We'll just have to adjust to that. So right now, let's take the time to dive into the game and see if we can pinpoint some of these changes and see how everything looks. All right, so now we're going to enter our Pokemon menu here. And if we back out of this menu, there is actually new sound. Hopefully you can hear this. I will increase the volume for you guys. It's kind of a quiet little sound, just a little tweak, I guess, that they added there. In the nearby, if we take a look here, we'll lower the volume again. If we tap on these Pokemon, it just says find these Pokemon in the wild, which is something that never happened before. There was no tapping functionality in here if you tried to tap on the actual Pokemon in here. If you guys have been playing since the very beginning of Pokemon GO, you'll remember that you used to be able to tap the Pokemon in here, and then they would be centered in the bottom right in your tracker, and you'd be able to track them down with the footsteps. Unfortunately, obviously that's been since removed, but this kind of is a little bit reminiscent of actually being able to click on these now. I remember my girlfriend hadn't played in a long time, and she went into the menu after this latest update where they have the grass behind them, and, tracking is kind of nerfed a little bit, and she was trying to tap on the Pokemon because she remembered that she wanted to try to focus on that Pokemon and track them down, and of course, to no avail. while we're in here, I do have a couple interesting evolutions. I've been searching for the perfect Nidoking and perfect Nidoqueen. I've been having a lot of trouble. Ever since I had a 93% male Nidoran and a 91% female Nidoran that both evolved with the wrong movesets completely, I've been on the hunt for better versions. So I've got this guy here. Not the highest CP, but 91%, which satisfies my perfectionist cravings. So let's hope for a good moveset. Here goes nothing. We want Poison Jab, Earthquake, or Poison Jab, Stone Edge. I will accept Stone Edge if you get it. I will not accept Mega Horn or Fury Cutter. Poison Jab, Stone Edge. Poison Jab, Earthquake. Come on. Fury Cutter, Sludge Wave. You, sir, are a prime candidate for the garbage. I hope you're ready for the garbage chute. Okay, so I do also have this Growlithe here. It's not 90%. I really wish that it had been 90%. I actually caught this while in the park, and I thought for a moment that it was going to be a 14, 14, 14, which I believe is, what, a 93% perfect Pokemon? But then, unfortunately, it turned out to be only 13, 13, 13, which makes it 87%. But you know what? Growliths, especially Wonder Growliths, are pretty hard to find around here, so we are going to be evolving this guy. And I do have plenty of candy for another evolution, too. Obviously, the moveset we want is Fire Fang, Fire Blast. Really hoping for that one. I'll also take Fire Fang, Flamethrower, certainly. Oh wow, we actually got it. Jeez. I was fully expecting Bite and Bulldoze, and I wasn't even going to be disappointed because it was still only an 87% perfect Pokemon. But wow, I'm actually impressed with that. Okay, and 1841 too. That just jumped up to the top of my list. Let's look at that. Whew. 6th slot. Okay, that changes things significantly. If you'll notice, I got that 93% Golem up here. I really wanted a very nice Golem, so I'm pretty happy with that. I keep pumping him full of candies whenever I catch new Geodudes. So, still pretty stoked about that one. Now we're going to do an 87% male Nidoran with really good CP, 608. And although it's not 90, if it is a good moveset, I will be pretty satisfied with that as well. Alright, let's go. Poison Jab, Earthquake. My Nidoking luck is so bad. 1800 CP though. That is the biggest. That's actually in the top. Wow. That's kind of cool looking. I'm going to screenshot that, but I think that guy's headed for the garbage chute later. I won't make you watch the Death Squad right now, but... So ordinarily that would wrap up our coverage of this new Pokemon Go update, but thanks to the Silph Road, we have new information about what's going on behind the scenes in this update through data mining. So, first and foremost, Ditto is coming very soon. Ditto appears to be able to be encounterable in the wild. It is not clear whether this is enabled yet or whether it will appear as Ditto before capture, but the species is almost certainly capturable as opposed to acquirable only through non-wild encounter. So, whether or not we catch it as a different Pokemon, it is in the game. It is coded in there. The code has been added in spades, according to the Silph Road. Ditto appears to be able to be used in battle. Sounds for different Ditto effects have appeared. A background graphic for Ditto has appeared. So on the Pokemon page where they usually have the background image of whatever type they are, Ditto has its own, apparently. A small spotlight graphic has appeared for Ditto that may indicate a different appearance either on the map or elsewhere. That's interesting. So it is possible that Ditto is now in the game. They're unable to confirm either way, but this update appears to have given the client everything it needs to handle Ditto interactions. So it may very well be possible right now to find Ditto. We're not sure. So definitely get out there and try everything you can to unmask and find Ditto. in the game. So 3 new sponsors have appeared, but they're unusual. We've got Spatula, Thermometer, and Knife. So these could possibly be placeholder names or icons for sponsored retail or restaurant locations that will play host during a promotion, or they could be used in a future event. So we've seen these kind of events before. What they may end up doing with legendaries and stuff is, let's say McDonald's wants to be sponsored, they'll pay Niantic or whatever, and then maybe they'll have Mewtwo there spawning at that location or in McDonald's all around the United States or whatever country you're in for a period of time, maybe a week, which is kind of lame as far as I'm concerned, and I definitely don't want to see Mewtwo's and legendary birds and stuff spamming up the gyms, but I think this is probably the direction that they're going to be going in as to releasing these legendaries. I would have really liked to see the city events between the different teams capturing different gyms and stuff, but I think overall there's just simply too many players, and it would create, chaos and panic and that type of deal, and definitely clog up the cities first off. So I don't think we're going to be seeing that, unfortunately. We've also got tweaks to the nearby tracker. Now, we mentioned this earlier from some users that were reporting it, but new code now appears to show that the nearby tracker, currently being tested in San Francisco, will hide the sightings radar when a minimum number of nearby Pokemon are detected. The minimum number is unclear, but anecdotally, it may currently be a single one. The code appears to be able to adjust this parameter, perhaps indicating Niantic is continuing to refine the feature. So hopefully, we will get a better version. A lot of people want 2 different pages. Like, if we are going to get the whole find the Pokemon at the Pokestop nearby tracker feature, people also want to have another page where you can actually just see sightings of those actually nearby Pokemon locations. So hopefully we will get that at some point. And this point, they want to warn you, is pure speculation. However, it's something shiny. So they say that they don't want to get ahead of themselves, and let's certainly not. But for the first time, the phrases shiny and rare have appeared in the APK. There is a new audio file that plays when a Pokemon is captured that is deemed rare by the game. It's a little bit more enthusiastic than the normal "you did it" music after the capture. And there's also a decent amount of new code segregating Pokemon's materials into default and shiny materials. So materials, for those unfamiliar with game development, are specifications for how surfaces appear, reflect light, and are colored or tinted. Basically the skin of the Pokemon, what actually gives it its color and any details on it that is sort of modeled into that polygonal form. There's actually a new version of that for these special Pokemon that may definitely be shiny Pokemon, which is interesting to see in the code. They also want to note that we might have expected to see alternate shiny sprites in the game if shinies were truly going to become part of the collecting game. So we have to take this with a big grain of salt. We don't know for sure yet whether or not these rare encounters or rare Pokemon are going to be shiny, or if maybe they're just slightly different or slightly altered, or maybe it's Niantic's take on rare or shiny Pokemon in the wild. So we're just going to have to see, but this is definitely really interesting. We've also got some stuff about a potential combat tweak. No change to the move DPS or species CP values, but a small amount of new code referencing moves and attackers has appeared. So it's currently unexplained, but may point towards future changes to the combat system. So there's definitely a lot of stuff going on here, and we knew from the very beginning because it was a very big update, even though very little on the surface was shown to have been changed. But definitely be sure to let me know what you think of this in the comment section down below. Slash that thumbs up if you liked seeing this episode about the latest Pokemon Go update, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.